Good morning, my friends. How are you? It is Friday, November 3rd, and how are you? I have missed you. And I am back from my trip to Vermont to go go to their Vermont Association of Realtors conference. And one day I taught with Amy Cheroux, and we taught Agent Evolution, a class that we've been working on for quite a while. We did a 2-hour CE on it, and it was just so timely because we've been working on it and following everything throughout all of these phases of what's been going on. And it was like as we're driving there, news is coming out about different changes and updates. And so it was really topical. And then yesterday I taught the 4 season broker, which is a course that I created especially for Vermont. And we have a big tie to Vermont, and I hope to spend more time in Vermont as I work toward my retirement. Speaking of, right, 6 a.m. at Market Basket, you can go if you're over 60. Yeah, yeah. Just got back from grocery shopping. Anyway, so I want to bring on my quote, and I'm going to talk to you about what my biggest takeaway is, and frankly, what I'm going to do. Okay, so This is one of my slides that I added in from a um, from a podcast I listened to on the way up there, and the podcast was, gosh, I'm not even going to remember the guy's name. Morgan somebody. He was on Tim Ferriss's. Morgan. I want to say Hazel, but it's not Hazel. I'll put it in the notes after. Anyway, what he talked about was on the podcast was that Warren Buffett, when he was doing research, he's an author. When he was doing research on Warren Buffett, he found a quote that he had never seen before. And it was a quote from, I don't know if it was somebody who was interviewing Warren Buffett uh, or what, but Warren Buffett was in the car getting interviewed. And in it, they said, and this is back in 2008 when we had a big recession and there was lots of change going on. And what he said was Warren Buffett, um, they said, with all these changes going on, Warren, like, what do you think? Like, what's going to happen? And Warren Buffett said simply, do you know what the favorite candy bar was of people in 1920? And the person's like, what the heck's he asking me about a candy bar for? And he said, I don't know. And he said, it was Snickers bar. And he goes, okay. And the guy's thinking, like, Warren Buffett's really crazy. And then the second part of it was, he said, do you know what the favorite candy bar is of people today? And he said, no, what? And he goes, Snickers bar. So his point was that most things don't change overnight, and most things don't even change really. They may evolve a little, ergo the agent evolution, but they don't change dramatically. There's only a certain percentage of change that happens at any given point in time. So that means that for us as real estate professionals, with the changes that are going to be happening, 90% of our job is going to be the same. And that's helping our buyers and our sellers the best that we can to either sell their house or help them find a house. How we do it, there is going to be some tweaking and some changes and maybe a few new forms and a few new communications. But how we do our job, those are details. What we do for our consumers in our consumer-centric business is not going to change. So while we're talking about, like, what's going to happen here, what's going to happen there, that's noise. And this is what I talk about. Avoid the noise. In this case, remember that we all have a favorite candy bar, that doesn't change as it, right? Or something like that. You get my point. That was what I found. And you know what? The classes were so awesome. We had such good interaction and such, like, such good connection. And it's like people are ready to listen. And, in both classes, we talked about fear setting. And it was something that was really, like, yesterday, one of my biggest takeaways was from doing the fear setting activity. And someone said later, they said, well, what if people just aren't listening and they're doing it wrong? I said, well, if you're their broker, because that was the brokerage class, I said, you need to do fact setting. And the same kind of way where you go and you just break it down and say, like, these are the facts and this is what we're doing. Anyway, I am, talking about a million things and talking a mile an hour. I am so grateful to be back. And I thought so much about these morning discussions and the comments I get from time to time. And I want to just say, like, I actually shared it to more sites, and I'm going to start doing that so it can be found in more places because I'm not very good at going back later and sharing it out. But if you could help me by sharing out ones that you think are good that our other agents could benefit from, I would really appreciate that because I really appreciate you. I appreciate our squad that we have here. So thank you so much. Have an amazing weekend. I've got open houses all weekend. I have a new listing that came on at the beginning of the week. And so I'll be open house Appaloosa, and I have an open house at my other house. So I'm hoping it's a great weekend. Thank you so much, my friends. I will see you soon.